Welcome to After the Bell, the capitalists versus consumers daily market report. Here is everything that moved the market today, Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. Trump called off a planned military strike on Iran. Bond yields hit multi-decade highs. The market sold off, then recovered. And tomorrow, Nvidia reports. Let's get into it. This video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Please hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a daily report. The numbers at the close. Today was a volatile session that ended modestly lower. The S&P 500 closed down 0.67% at 7,353. The Nasdaq fell 0.84% to 25,870. The Dow shed 322 points, closing at 49,363. The market spent most of the day deeper in the red before recovering significantly in the final hour on Iran news. Stocks took a pause following a more than 15% rally since the March low. Bond yields continued to edge higher, with the 10-year Treasury yield closing around 4.66%, its highest level since early 2025. When bond yields rise, that high-growth stocks and high-multiple technology names face direct pressure. That dynamic drove today's weakness. Trump calls off Iran strike. The story of the day. The dominant story today was one of the most dramatic Iran developments since the conflict began. Trump said he called off a scheduled attack on Iran that was expected to take place Tuesday. He said he made the decision because serious negotiations are underway toward a peace deal acceptable to the US and countries in the Middle East. The market reaction was immediate. Stocks recovered from their worst levels of the day. Oil pulled back. The 30-year Treasury yield eased slightly from its intraday high. There was a rally late in the day after Trump's announcement. The S&P 500 recouped much of its intraday losses to close only slightly lower. Here is the significance. The US was planning an active military strike on Iran. That would have been a dramatic escalation, potentially sending oil to $130 or $140 per barrel and triggering a severe market sell-off. Trump calling it off in favor of negotiations is one of the most bullish developments possible for inflation, oil prices, and ultimately the Federal Reserve's ability to cut rates. But Trump also said the pause was only temporary. The threat has not gone away, just been postponed. Watch this story very closely. A genuine peace deal announcement would be one of the most significant positive market catalysts of the year. Bond yields. The real problem. The Iran news is dominating headlines, but the real structural issue pressuring this market is bond yields. The 30-year Treasury yield briefly topped 5.19% on Tuesday, its highest level in nearly 19 years. The 10-year note yield hit 4.687% at its peak, the highest since January 2025. Why does this matter so much? Two reasons. First, the average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage climbed to 6.68%, its highest level since July 2025. Every basis point rise in Treasury yields flows directly into mortgage rates. Home affordability is getting worse, not better. The housing market is frozen. Potential buyers are locked out. Second, high bond yields are direct competition for stocks. When a 30-year Treasury pays 5.19% guaranteed, that is genuine competition for equities, particularly high multiple growth stocks that need low rates to justify their valuations. This is the mathematical pressure that has been selling off tech stocks, even as earnings remain strong. Full-year earnings growth is expected to exceed 20%. The profit backdrop remains solid, but higher for longer energy prices pose downside risks to corporate profits over the remainder of the year. That is the tension the market is navigating right now. Extraordinary earnings growth on one side and rising yields and inflation on the other. Home Depot beats. The consumer holds up. Home Depot reported better than expected earnings for the first quarter. Management noted that despite ongoing consumer uncertainty and affordability challenges in the housing market, underlying demand has remained relatively stable compared to 2025. That is an important signal. Home Depot is one of the most direct reads on the American consumer and housing market. The fact that demand is stable despite 6.68% mortgage rates and elevated inflation suggests consumers are proving more resilient than the record-low sentiment data would suggest. The Dow's losses were led by Cisco, down 3%, Boeing down 2.6%, and 3M down 2% on the downside. Top gainers were Verizon, up 2.19%, Amgen up 1.97%, and Merck up 1.52%. The defensive rotation, healthcare, utilities, consumer staples, continues as investors seek shelter from the high-yield environment. Musk to appeal the OpenAI verdict. One quick update on yesterday's OpenAI verdict. Elon Musk vowed to appeal after the federal jury found he waited too long to sue. His attorneys said they will appeal to the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals. An appeal means this story is not fully over, but the immediate threat to OpenAI's IPO is removed. The Ninth Circuit process takes months to years. OpenAI can proceed with its IPO plans. Tomorrow. Nvidia. Everything this week has been building to one moment. Nvidia reports first quarter results Wednesday after the close. Analysts expect earnings of $1.78 per share, up 120% year over year, on revenue of $79.2 billion, up 79.5% year over year. Nvidia's earnings are important because for a stock, this large investors need reassurance that the AI story is still alive and well, and that the company is producing enough revenue growth to support its elevated valuation. Nvidia's earnings will help set the tone for a stock market that is in need of its next catalyst after an incredible run since the March lows. This is the moment. The AI trade's most important earnings report of the year drops tomorrow night. We will have the full breakdown in tomorrow's After the Bell. Do not miss it. That is your After the Bell for Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, here at Capitalists vs. Consumers. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss our daily report or weekly breakdown every Friday. We will see you at the closing bell tomorrow, Nvidia night. Affiliate links. Small commission at no cost to you. Educational purposes only, not financial advice.